This video is going to show you how to use dimensional analysis to solve problems in chemistry. This is on page 11 of your math skills packet, and it says, walk now, baby. We're going to put all these baby steps together and solve problems using dimensional analysis. I have two examples I'm going to work out for you and point out how all the baby steps are going to come together here. So in example A, we have how many inches are in 27.4 centimeters. So the setup is that baby step 5. Where when I read the problem, I look, what are they asking me for? And that's how many inches. So I'm going to put X inches, and then I'm going to put an equal sign. And then I go back to the problem, and I see that they've given me 27.4 centimeters. So I'm going to put 27.4 centimeters. That's baby step 5, just knowing that that's how we're going to start a problem. And really, if you think back to baby step 5, the way that number got there is because back in the 8th grade, we would have solved this as a ratio problem where there was a ratio on the other side of the equal sign. This number had started out down here and got cross multiplied. So really, it's up here in a numerator where there's going to be a ratio. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my line and draw my parentheses, getting ready for that. I consider that also part of baby step 5, part of the setup. The next thing I need to do is say, I need some sort of a ratio that takes me from centimeters to inches, or if I can't do it in one ratio, then I would need to put multiple ratios getting from centimeters to something and something to inches. So on this one, I gave you that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. We would turn that into fraction style ratios. So we could put 2.54 centimeters on top, that's supposed to be an M, and 1 inch in the denominator, or we could do it the other way, where 1 inch is in the numerator and 2.54 centimeters is in the denominator. Well, thinking about baby step 2, and that if we have a unit up here in the numerator, we would like one in the denominator to divide out and cancel. I look at the two versions, this is baby step 4 here, which version do I want, version A or version B? What I want is the version that's going to put centimeters down here so I can cancel them, and that happens in version B. So I'm going to write the 2.54 centimeters underneath and the 1 inch in the numerator. So then the centimeters and the centimeters divide out and cancel. For this problem, I already have inches. That's what they asked me for. So this is the only ratio conversion factor I need. And now I'm ready to move into the calculator stage. Any numbers that are on top are going to get multiplied. So 27.4 times 1 if you like, and then any numbers underneath are going to be divided. So I'm going to divide by 2.54. So let's see if I can get this to work. Pull up the calculator, and we'll do 27.4. You could do times 1. It doesn't change your answer, so I'm going to skip it. 2.54. Hit enter, and I get a really big, messy number. Well, the number they gave me in the problem, let's see if it'll let me move this, was 27.4. That's 3 significant figures. So our answer needs to get rounded to 3 significant figures. So I'll keep the 1, and I'll keep the 0, and I'll keep this place where the 7 is located. Since what's next door is an 8, I'm going to round up. That 7 is not going to stay a 7, it's going to go up to an 8. So my final answer will be 10.8. So 10.8, and the units that are left are inches. So our final answer to this problem is 10.8 inches. The next example is just a little bit more complicated. We're going to start it the same way by reading the word problem and writing the setup. So how many kilometers is equal to 2,700 feet? X kilometers equals sign 2,700 feet. And then I'm going to draw my big numerator-denominator line. I'm going to get ready to put a ratio in here. So what I would like is one ratio that gets me from feet to kilometers, and I know for sure that I'm going to need feet to go down here. So I look at the two conversion factors that I've given you. This one goes from miles to kilometers, and this one goes from feet to miles. Since I'm starting with feet, I want to start with this and turn it into a fraction style ratio. I want the feet portion to go in the denominator, so 5,280 feet goes in the denominator. That makes me put 1 mile in the numerator. That means this is what I have to use second. I can't do this in one ratio. Well, the feet and the feet have canceled. So the units I have left are miles. And if I look at the second conversion factor, it's 0.62137 miles makes 1 kilometer. So I'm going to put the 0.62137 miles in the denominator and the 1 kilometer in the numerator. That lets these miles cancel out. And the only units left are kilometers, which is awesome because back here in the beginning, that's what they wanted us to get. So our final answer needs to have units of kilometers. Now let's pull up the calculator and let's hit clear so we're not looking at any other numbers. Okay, the first number is 2,700. I have to cover it. 2,700. And then times 1 if you wish. There are 2 numbers in the denominator, so you have 2 options here. You can either do divided by and put these both in parentheses, or you can do what I'm about to do, divide by the first one, 5280, and then divide by the second one, 0.62137. And I get a whole bunch of gibberish. So 0.82296, that's a whole lot of significant figures. If I look back at the problem, that's 2 significant figures. Those zeros are not significant because there's no decimal point in the number. So I need to round this to 2 significant figures. I'll keep the 8 and I'll keep the place where the 2 is located. And since what's next door is just a 2, I'm actually just going to keep it 0.82. So my answer would be, I like to put a 0 in front, 0.82 kilometers. So that's how you would work dimensional analysis problems using all the baby steps, putting all the pieces together, canceling out units, and then using your calculator. There are 8 other practice problems on this page, and I've given you all the answers here so that you can work them out on your own, showing setup, ratios, canceling, put it in the calculator, and I've given you the answers rounded to the correct number of significant figures. Just realize this bottom one cut off the answer, so I'm going to write it right here. It is 12 miles for that bottom one. Work the problems out, show your work, because when we come back and grade problems like this, the setup is worth 1 point. Each ratio that you need to use is a point. And then the answer and the sig figs and the units are all points. So that's a total of 6 points for this problem. If all you do is write this down, you've gotten 3 out of the 6 points, and that's a 50.